Hey Rise Network, so welcome back on another episode of Rise Insights. But before we get into today's conversation, I just want to ask you something that's kind of simple but heavy. Have you ever looked or felt perfectly calm on the outside, but inside you felt like you were barely holding yourself together? Because I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking about this kind of calm, the kind that looks peaceful from a distance but feels like chaos when you are the one living through it. And it all took me back to two very familiar stories. Jesus in the boat and Jonah in the boat. Same stormy setting, same water, same waves crashing, same chaos, and yet the rest they carried and expressed from the outside, it looked completely different. So when I picture Jesus, I see him, lying there in a boat, still, quiet, completely unshaken. He wasn't sleeping because he didn't care. He wasn't numbing himself. He wasn't even pretending that this storm didn't exist. He was sleeping, he was resting because his heart was anchored. Like he had so much trust in God the Father, and he was settled in that, and he knew exactly who he was and who was with him. And because of that, he carried, like the rest he carried, it had authority, the kind of authority that could stand up, speak once, and you watch the whole storm obey. But then the Jonah kind of rest. He slept, but his sleep was different, like it carried weight. His quiet wasn't peace, it was avoidance, it was escape. It was the kind of tiredness that comes from you running away from what you know that you should be facing. So he wasn't calm because he trusted God. He wasn't calm because he was trying to think about how he should calm the storm, but rather when he woke up, we see him that he wasn't even trying to calm the storm, but rather he had to face the truth and admit that he was the cause of it. And the more I sat with that, the more it hit me, because two people can be quiet in the middle of a storm, and yet only one of them is truly at rest. Like only one is aligned and one is anchored. And that's where this gets too personal, because so many times in my life I've looked calm, like too calm. I've looked too collected. I've even looked too fine, but inside I wasn't resting. I was shutting down. I wasn't anchored, but I was just too tired. And that's why today we are talking about something that I'm calling the storm with and within us, because it's not just the storm outside, from the pressure, from the bills, the expectations, the disappointments, or the things that life throws at you. Sometimes the loudest storm is the one that is happening inside of you. The misalignment, the avoidance, the numbness, the quiet heaviness you don't want to talk about, but you feel it weigh down on you every single day. And I want us to sit with that for a minute, because we need to ask ourselves, where is my calm coming from? Is it the Jesus kind, or the one like the Jesus kind that is born from trust, alignment, obedience, or the Jonah kind that is born from running or suppressing or pretending, or even hoping that the storm will magically just go away if we just sleep, or like sleep enough? Because honestly, from the outside they look the same. You can look peaceful while you are breaking. You can look quiet while your heart is screaming. You can look strong, but your spirit is just so exhausted from avoiding the very same things that God keeps bringing back to you just to grab your attention. And I know that feeling too well, because you can lie down at night, you can tell yourself that I am okay, when deep down you know that you are not resting. You're just hiding and postponing things, and avoiding the conversations that you really need to have with yourself, but you don't want to face it. So the Jonah kind of rest looks harmless, but not only does it spill into everything around you, but it affects everything around you. But the Jesus kind of rest, the one that changes everything. That one anchors you. So it doesn't silence the storm sometimes, but it just silences the fear inside of you, because at times you just need to sit with that storm for a minute and let every lesson that is attached to that storm, do its inner work. And until you get hold of those lessons, then you can look around you and realize that the storms were not meant to sweep you off or completely drown you, but it was just for your own good. I hope I'm making sense, because I think I'm just going in circles and in circles. But I guess what I'm really asking you and me today is this: where is your rest coming from? Are you lying down? Are you sleeping because you trust God? Are you lying down because you are just too tired of wrestling or showing up in life, or just rising up again, or just doing life again, or just starting all over again? Because the truth is, both people slept in that storm, but only one of them speaks something that is truly admirable in as far as today's conversation is concerned. So today, I just want you to breathe for a moment. Notice the storms, not just the storms around you, but within you. Notice what you have been avoiding. Notice where God is gently pulling you back into, because your rest will never come from the absence of the storm, but it will come from the presence of God, and you trusting that in as far as God is with me, then even in the midst of a storm, something beautiful can still come out of that. So may God teach us to rest like Jesus and heal every place where we have been resting like Jonah.